So here's a good question for you guys. What is your all-time favorite moment from the Assassin's Creed franchise? Hello once again, my fellow assassins. We are talking about Assassin's Creed Victory, AC Unity a little bit, and then also the Assassin's Creed movies, and going over your top comments. Hey guys, what's up? It's Robbie with Open World Games, and as always, remember there's going to be a video guide in the description below, so you can skip ahead to the news you see, so you don't have to sit there and wait for it. Just go into that description and skip ahead. Now also remember, we've got an Xbox One and PS4 giveaway. We're teaming up with Star Wars HQ, and we're going to be announcing the winner around June-ish of this year, so June 2015, during E3 2015, so look forward to that. But check it out in the description below to find out how to enter for a chance to win an Xbox One or PS4. So I've made myself a pretty decent list of multiplayer features that we want to see in Assassin's Creed Victory, and yes, features we do not want to see returning in Assassin's Creed Victory, and there are actually some that I do not want to see returning. But we're going to start out with the co-op specifically and how to do it right. Basically, I really want them keeping the seamless nature to co-op. Of course, we want it to be drop in and drop out within an open world, but we want missions that are dedicated to your 10 or 15 minute experiences that can be experienced right there in the open world. They do not require any type of cinematic, any type of cutscenes. These would be your outposts, freeing citizens, solving murder mysteries together. And I really want murder mysteries to be something that are dangerous. Besides, you are going after murderers in a criminal world, so I really want them to tap into the danger for those. Also, I really would think it would be cool if we had more social groups and social hubs in the environment. We saw taverns that really weren't used at all in the open world space for you and your friends to hang out. So it would be cool if you were able to build up a villa and taverns together as a group. This is something I really want to see in Assassin's Creed Victory. It'd be so cool to see you transforming the city of London together. And can you imagine playing Assassin's Creed games in the future, and you're able to, change cities as a group and, as an Assassin's Creed together. It would really be a meaningful change, and you'd be able to return to the world and have to defend it as well. So yes, we want a great single player narrative. Now, I know a lot of you feel the same, that AC Unity really dropped the ball with the storytelling in more ways than one, but they also didn't allow you to experience the story with other players. You never got to experience any epic moments or character building with other players. This is something I really want them to focus on for Assassin's Creed Victory and their other franchises at Ubisoft as a whole. Far Cry 4, it would be nice to be able to experience that story as well with other players. But yeah, these missions should be pretty lengthy. They should be about 45 minutes to an hour and a half in length, dedicated to us hardcore fans. And of course, we really don't want to alienate anyone that's working, that has to get up early, go to college, go to school, that sort of thing. So it would be wise to have checkpoints throughout the missions where you could opt out. You would, get your XP, at 25% of the way through the mission and say, I gotta go, guys, but you guys continue on without me and keep pushing. And then, of course, you can opt out halfway through the mission, 75% of the way through the mission. Now, players should really be encouraged to stay in the missions, though, and that is if they complete 100% of their goal, they get a massive XP reward, maybe double the XP for hanging in tough and sticking it throughout the hour campaign. So really incentives to stay in for that hour to hour and 15 minute experience, or whatever it would be for a story mission. But yeah, I really want to see the game where maybe you're going to be in the open world for 15 to 20 minutes and say, hey, we're going to dive into a major narrative storytelling mission, sort of like a interactive fun movie. And that's something that I want to see. I want to see an awesome story that you can experience with friends. I'm really missing good storytelling in Assassin's Creed. They really need to hire some really good writers, or get back to what they were doing with Assassin's Creed 2. Really study that and figure out what worked with Assassin's Creed 2 and even Assassin's Creed 1. And of course, I do think that they are trying, and hopefully we see a gem out of the next Assassin's Creed games. So gameplay is king. We want to stay in the game. We really want a living, breathing world. And to support that, we need good mechanics in an open world that provides that drop in and drop out co-op experience. Now, I think for stealth, they just need to study Splinter Cell Blacklist. They need to really study what they did right in the Splinter Cell franchise. They basically have it down perfectly. Now, of course, I would want to see that ghosting feature returning in Assassin's Creed Unity, where you can distract other guards just by, peeking around the corner, and then your ghost appears there and they come looking for you. You know that they're coming after that area. But, the one feature I do not want to see returning in Assassin's Creed Victory is the disguise function. I think it is totally cheesy and really breaks the immersion and makes it just too easy. All of a sudden, you could pop on a disguise. It is so weird and out of place for Assassin's Creed Victory and Unity even, because it's not historically accurate, and I don't understand how the Animus can influence history directly. I thought you were always just watching the memory that had already been lived, so I want to see that completely cut out of the game for sure. But, one game that I can think of that had a cool co-op element was Army of Two. It had that aggro system. I wouldn't mind to see aggro being focused on a little bit more in Assassin's Creed Unity, where you're really distracting a guard, or you have weapons and gadgets that were dedicating to aggroing the enemy towards a certain area. So that's something I definitely want to see in Assassin's Creed Victory, the focus on aggro. So one thing that is sort of missing in the Assassin's Creed franchise, right now at least, is the option to do non-lethal kills. The big reason you would want to do this in an Assassin's Creed game is interrogating guards. That's sort of missing, and I know that's a Splinter Cell mechanic, but it should definitely make its way into a co-op Assassin's Creed world. I mean, can you imagine, getting passwords, finding out locations for certain weapons just by interrogating enemies? This would make you a little bit more paranoid when being stealthy in Assassin's Creed. You probably wouldn't want to kill everyone so readily, and you probably wouldn't even want to get into combat that much because interrogating would be more beneficial for sure if it was an option in the Assassin's Creed franchise. And I do hope that they do something like this. It would really open up so much gameplay options for the open world and figuring out things just by interrogating. Now, something that was curiously dropped from Assassin's Creed Unity was the ability to hire mercenaries, thieves, and prostitutes. And this is something I really, really miss in the Assassin's Creed franchise. It would be so cool is if you were able to free prostitutes or free thieves and then have them work for you as you go into a huge open world sprawling mission. Now that would be a cool distraction. Of course, I would want some sort of risk and reward with this. If you do hire innocents to partake in your missions, if they get killed or injured or hurt, you should definitely take a huge XP hit for collateral damage. It's something that assassins should not be proud of, is hurting fellow citizens. They are there to protect them, so it should be considered a risk hiring on these groups. So I think that sort of a risk versus reward and option in the open world would be so cool to see in Assassin's Creed multiplayer. Now, Assassin's Creed has been notorious for not providing difficulty settings, and I think it's getting maddening. I will never understand it. It's so frustrating to have 0 difficulty settings in this amazing world. So I want to see each co-op mission to have 3 difficulty settings, or 2. Think Destiny, at least they provided some sort of difficulty setting. So I think it would be beneficial to have difficulty settings also, because the rewards and payouts would be very different from going from normal to hard. You would have 50% more of a payout or a unique reward if you defeated the mission on hard. And again, it would provide that much more replayability. Players would want to come back to the missions and experience them just for the unique rewards dedicated to difficulty. So AC Unity touted the feature before it came out that there were boss battles, and I didn't feel like there were hardly any boss battles in the game, and I didn't feel like they were done properly. Now, in Assassin's Creed 1, a lot of them were quite memorable. You would really stalk your prey, and once you found a couple of these Templars, they ended up running like mad. It was a parkour race across the city, and that's something that I enjoyed so much with Assassin's Creed 1 and Assassin's Creed 2, and I've noticed less and less of it in the Assassin's Creed games as they have progressed. So I want to see, you know, something where you are roaming around together in the open world. You come across the gang leaders, and they go into a parkour frenzy across the city, and it would be cool if you as a group really have to stop them with your parkour skills. Maybe it ended up in a fight, but they are really lacking that parkour play in Assassin's Creed co-op. At least in Unity, they really didn't have anything dedicated to really experiencing parkour in missions as a group. So I want to see this in Assassin's Creed Victory, and I think the perfect way to implement it is definitely through those boss encounters. So one thing that was MIA in Assassin's Creed Unity was PvP multiplayer. That is competitive multiplayer. I want to see this return in a big way for Assassin's Creed Victory. In fact, I want it to work nearly the same as Dark Souls, where you can invade other gamers' world. And I, again, think that this is one of the coolest mechanics. Sounds like it's probably very difficult to do in terms of technology and servers and stuff, but it would be so worth it if they could pull it off in an open world London. So basically, just like co-op, it would be seamless. You'd be able to join, or in this case, invade an Assassin's game. Basically, there would be two main options for this type of game type. You'd be able to sabotage in an assassin hideout or steal artifacts. You know, we're talking about pieces of Eden, stuff like that. Or assassinate one of the key leaders. Now, players would have to be responsible for defending these areas. That would be pinged. They would be notified, hello, you are about to be attacked. You better be on the ball. There is a Templar in your game, and I think it would be wise to offer an arena experience for those of us that really want that combat-centric gameplay. So it would be cool to be able to have some missions that did revolve around combat and have, you know, a break from the stealth if we wanted it. We need to be able to even test out your skills with other assassins in an arena-based mode. But this becomes a mess when you're trying to integrate seamless PvP, co-op, and a good single-player narrative. How in the world do you make it all make sense, and how do you keep the progression of your character going throughout the entire experience? You know, if you are suddenly a Templar, you're going to have a whole new progression tree, which I would think could be a problem for sure. So it would be wise, you know, in a game like this, I would think, is to give players a choice to be either an assassin or a Templar in the main story, you know, which could develop throughout time. Which, of course, this would cost development time. Or, you know, you can have a brand new struggle being told about the assassins breaking at the seams. They're taking on the Templars, they're taking on each other. It could be assassins versus Templars. You know, everyone's main enemy is still the Templars, but the assassins are also having trouble with one another. And it would give that, you know, continuity throughout the single player, co-op, and the PvP story. You just want it all to gel well together. And I do not want to see a separate progression system for PvP. I think that would absolutely suck if you know, were a Templar and you had a whole new set of gear that you had to upgrade, and then you jump back into your co-op and those upgrades did not matter. So I really hope that they come up with story reasons and a good foundation to avoid that completely. So by all means, please do let me know what you think about these ideas for Assassin's Creed Victory. Of course, you know, I don't want any of these to infringe upon the single-player, story-driven experience. I really still want that to be intact. Of course, I think that's going to be super expensive to do, I would imagine, but hopefully Ubisoft can pull it off. I really love the Assassin's Creed franchise, and I hope they take care of it in the future. So we've got some Assassin's Creed movie news. Now, the Assassin's Creed movie is in full production now. They are actually working on it right now, which is extremely exciting because I have high hopes for this movie because it already stars a really well-known and good actor. He is Michael Fassbender. You guys may have already heard about this. He played as Magneto. And then he also, of course, played in Prometheus. But now we've got another great actress on board. And she, of course, was in Inception. And her name is Maureen Cotillard. And I hope I got that right. Of course, she was great in Inception. And she also did have a part in The Dark Knight Rises. And she is a great actress. And, of course, she's connected to all of those movies through Christopher Nolan. So hopefully, you know, this Assassin's Creed movie ends up right. Now, Michael Fassbender, he is a producer on the movie, and he says he really wants to respect, first of all, the source material, but also bring something new to the story. So you could take that as both good and bad news, but it is at least very good that he did say he wants to respect the source material, and he's wise enough to know that this is an excellent concept and would really work well as a movie. By the way, if this came out in 2016 with a badass Assassin's Creed game, that would be freaking epic. So now it is time for your top comments. As always, leave your comments down below. They may end up in the video. So, we've got one from the Feetspom Mafia 151, and he goes on to say, what if Jack the Ripper was an assassin and the women that he murdered were Templars? That is mind-blowing. A little creepy, but mind-blowing. You never know what they're going to do with the Assassin's Creed franchise, but I don't think they're going to take that route. That would be, I think, a little bit too distasteful for the Assassin's Creed franchise. But hopefully we do meet Jack the Ripper in Assassin's Creed Victory and are finally able to solve the mystery. Now here's one about the gear system from Assassin's Creed Unity. It's from Fred1999FB, and he asks, do you think they will keep the gear system? I hope they do, but gear that fits with the time period, unlike the medieval gear from Unity. You know, if they're using the same tech as Unity, then yes, I would imagine that they would keep the gear system, and of course they are using the same tech from Unity. Now, the big thing that I would like to see is being able to sell your gear. Can you imagine being able to create your own custom gear from crafting materials found throughout the world, and you have the ultimate stealth gear and you're able to sell it at a local tavern or shop or something like that in your guild hall or whatever? That would give so many reasons to return to the world of Assassin's Creed. It would keep you in the game, I would think, for an extremely long time if you knew that you were able to, you know, search the open world for gear and stuff like that, and then of course sell it to your friends, sell it throughout the Assassin's Creed guild. Man, oh man, it would be absolutely addicting. But yes, I would hope and I would expect the gear system from AC Unity to be something that stays within the Assassin's Creed franchise. I absolutely love it, and I hope they get more and more detailed as the franchise continues. So here's to hoping that Assassin's Creed Victory has a very, very smooth launch. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching and giving your support. Again, I really appreciate it when you guys like the video and share it. It means the world to me. And as always, leave your comments down below, your questions, whatever you have to say, leave it below. It may end up in the video. You never know. But guys, thank you for watching, and expect more coverage of Assassin's Creed Victory and the Assassin's Creed franchise and open world gaming goodness right here on Open World Games. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Check us out on Facebook and Twitter. But guys, I will see you next time.